You only need 3 things to win in this life. The balls to start, the brains to learn, and the heart to never quit. Today I wanted to cover that more often than not, when we talk about these 3 things, but the 2 biggest things that I see that stop people from reaching their goals, from actually succeeding, from changing their lives, is those things. First off, the ability to actually start. Because that first step, that initial step into doing something new, to changing, to challenging yourself, is so daunting. Now, most people will never actually make it. They'll talk about it, they'll whine about it, they'll dream about it, they'll wish about it, but they'll never actually take that first step. That's the hardest part, is that first step, that first foray into doing something difficult that is actually going to make an impact on your life. We spoke about it the other day. More often than not, we will choose a known hell rather than a unknown heaven. We will stay stuck. We will stay where we are. We will stay in that place, no matter how uncomfortable it makes us, no matter how disappointing or unhappy we are, because it's a known quantity, rather than pushing out and testing ourselves and seeing where we could end up with a challenge, with change, because it's an unknown outcome. If I try this, I don't know what will happen. I have an idea, I have a hope, I can, dream and guess at what's to come, but there's no guarantee of what is to come. So often people will stay, especially if it's only mildly uncomfortable, in that hell rather than push for that heaven. And we spoke about it before. The pain has to be so great for you to actually do something to change. And it's why you need a chip on your shoulder to keep going. Because that second part, the consistency part, the heart to never quit, that's the other side of it. Because I see a lot of people who they take the big step, they take that first initial moment and they do the thing. They call someone like me, they contact me, they start a fitness program, they start a business, they start working on themselves, they start pushing into personal growth. They do the things to start the journey, and they do enough to get out of pain. Not to be happy, not to be satisfied, not to reach the levels that they want and desire, but just enough to not be suffering anymore. And then they stop. And they stop doing the work. And they give up. And lo and behold, it all comes crashing back down and they resort back to where they were the first time. And this is the problem. You need the heart to never quit. You need consistency. And there are many skills that I think are lost in today's world. Discipline, grit, fortitude. But a lot of them also come back to consistency. And I think that is one of those underrated skills and talent that is required. It's why in 126 to Greatness, in my 30-day challenge, in any of the programs that I prescribe, it's all in, no days off. Why? Because you need to learn the skill of consistency. You need to develop the discipline and the fortitude to just do it every single day. No matter what's happening, no matter what's going on in life, you just get up and you do that shit. You get it done. And that's the difference maker. That's how you become a better version of yourself. That's how you grow and step into things. You have to be consistent. And it's such an overlooked thing. And even if we're just talking purely fitness, the difference between 5 days a week and 7 days a week is astronomical. The difference between being good Monday to Friday with your nutrition and being perfect on it for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 126 days is a world of difference. The difference between just kind of showing up and going all in is night and day. We have to learn and develop the ability to be consistent no matter what is thrown at us. And that skill, more than any other skill, will serve you well in every area of your life. We talk about how my weighted walk challenge, my 30-day weighted walk challenge. So for 45 minutes a day, you strap a weight to you in whatever format you desire, whether that's a weight vest, a backpack with something in it, a ruck, a kettlebell, a dumbbell. I don't really care. Just as long as it's weighted, and for 45 minutes, you go for a walk. You walk as far as humanly possible in those 45 minutes. And you do that every single day for 30 days, no matter what. It's got to be outside. It doesn't matter about the conditions. It doesn't matter about what's going on in your life. It doesn't matter if it's rain, hail, shine, if you feel like it or not, if you're sore, if you're tired, whatever. You get out there and you get it done for 30 days straight. There are no exceptions. There are no days off. And you will learn something about yourself. It is phenomenal what you will learn about yourself. It is phenomenal the level of discipline and grit and mental fortitude and, above all, consistency that you will gain from doing this. It is honestly mind-blowing that something so simple, so basic in its nature could change so much of your life, could deliver so much stuff for you. And that's where we're at. That simple commitment would change, I think, every area of your life. But it also gives you that flow-on effect, as I said, that you start building this consistency. You start building the skills of showing up every single day with no days off, with no exception. And that then flows into, I'm going to get better at eating. I'm going to be more consistent with my work. I'm more present. I'm less likely to dopamine chase. I'm less likely to do things that are going to derail my ability to do that. You start naturally self-selecting out of things because you don't want to compromise the other commitment you've made. And that's how you get better. And suddenly you have more energy, and suddenly you have more vigor for life. Suddenly you drop body fat. Suddenly you have a better aerobic capacity. Suddenly you get stronger. And it allows you to get better in all areas of your life. And now you start going, well, what other things can I do to get better at? What other things can I do to improve my health, my fitness, my mental capacity, my focus, my drive, my discipline? What other things can I add in to keep pushing this forward? And that's how you continue to get better. But it's the consistency of showing up. It's the consistency of continuing to go forward that will deliver this success. And yeah, it starts with 30 days. But I am very confident that after 30 days you'll go, why would I stop? Why would I not continue forward? Why would I not continue doing these things and continue to push forward into the areas that are gonna make the difference for you, that are gonna keep delivering these feelings for you? Because you'll also then, if you do stop, you'll realize that you've just instantly gone back to where you were before. And that's not what you want in your life. You want to continue feeling those benefits, but you have to be consistent on it. And it doesn't mean forever, never missing one of them, but you have to teach yourself the consistency component on it. You have to teach yourself the ability that you know that pretty much more often than not, you are going to get it done. And so I'll give the example of my own for you. So with 126, the first phase, I went 126 days of perfection, 0 days off, no missing, no gap in what I was doing. 126 phase 2, I'm on now. And within that, I have built in that there will be 10 days that I can have off on my nutrition. Right? So only 10 days in the 126 that I can have an off period. And they have to be planned. They have to be preemptive. It cannot be, I'm feeling weak. It needs to be a choice. And once those 10 days are used up, that's it, they're done. So I already pretty much know what they'll be used for. They will be used for my wife's birthday, my birthday, anniversary, Christmas. That'll use up a good portion of them, and then there might be other occasional special events that I'm going to use them on. But that's about it, really. Because I have built the consistency, I have built the habit, I have shown and to myself and to others that I can be consistent in this area of my life. And I can then have the occasional dip out because I am so consistent. That I have built consistency above all else. As I said, consistency, consistency, consistency. That is where success comes from. That is where you find the breakthroughs. It comes from doing things much longer than you think it should take. And I even talk about things like in this or in business. You have to keep showing up. You have to keep showing up longer than you think. And I found generally there are breaking points for people. And if we're talking fitness and exercise, oddly enough, especially when you make a big change in it, it's usually 7 days. 7 days, 70 days, 100 days, a year are usually the breaking points for whatever reason. That people hit this wall, and that's when they break, because the consistency starts to wear off. That consistency of it starts to feel like a grind. And that's also the point with consistency, where you need to shift your thinking about it. Because if you're going, only a couple more days of this, what a grind, this sucks, I'm never allowed to have an off day, it will get to a point that the consistency will be a grind. It will get to a point where you struggle to do those kinds of things because you've built it up in your head as a chore, as a problem, instead of building it up as a positive thing. Being like, fuck yes, look at me. That's another day on that. Another day I've ticked off. Another day I've crushed that. Another day of winning at that life. You've got to shift the thinking around it. Come back to the Seinfeld method. How many days in a row can you put an X on the calendar that you won that day? How many days in a row? Because that will determine so much of your success and consistency in the long term. That will determine heaps of it. And when you can shift the thinking into that fashion, you're winning at life. Because it's a positive thing, I'm up to 156 days, 58 days, something like that, without a day off. And that inspires me, that excites me, and to the point of I will have days off of, as I said, the 10 days on this. But I want to delay them. Like, I know they're coming, and I'm like, do I really want to utilize one of my days on that? Do I really want to put it towards it? I just want to keep going. I want to see how many days in a row I can nail the consistency. And part of the reason why I will do it is because, as I've said to you, I picked days that are important to social well-being and to my family and my relationships, more than the desire to just eat and pig out. Though those days that are there, but I'm more excited about how long I can keep pushing this forward, because I've shifted my thinking about the consistency paradigm and what actually matters on that, and what I'm doing this for, and what excites me within that. And that's how you got to think about it. You got to think about it in terms of that, of how many days in a row can you stack them together to get that done, to make that happen. That's where you're going to get your bang for your buck. That's where you're going to find the difference. That when you can find the joy in consistency and the excitement and the pride, that's when you will find that consistency becomes easier. So that's all I have for you today. So standard platitudes, if you found some value in this, if you thought it was interesting, if there was a nugget of wisdom in it, please like, comment, subscribe. Next, if you know someone else who could benefit from it, please send it to them. Help me grow this movement. And if you want to dip your toe in the water and see what you can become with a bit of consistency when you get some mental toughness and change your mind, please click the link in my bio, join the Daily Greatness Mail, and grab a copy of my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness. Lastly, if you are ready to go all in, to become the man that you know you should be, to transform your life in all areas, to build confidence, to build discipline, to build grit, to drop up to 10 kilos of unwanted body fat, and transition your body as well as your mind and your mental state, shoot me a message. Let's throw you into my 30-day weighted walk challenge and see what we can do for you. Until then.